Słuchasz podcastu Angielski z Konradem. Nowe odcinki każdego tygodnia. Jeśli chcesz popracować nad płynnością, nabrać odwagi do konwersacji, skorygować często popełniane błędy bądź poznać skuteczne metody nauki, ta audycja jest dla Ciebie. Remember, you're not at school, so chill out, kick back and enjoy yourself. Let's begin. Witaj w kolejnym odcinku. Zanim zaczniemy, pozwól, że pokrótce przypomnę, jak możesz wykorzystać mój podcast. Jeżeli czujesz się pewnie ze swoim angielskim, wystarczy, że przesłuchasz audycji. Dla tych z Was, którzy potrzebują odrobiny pomocy, pamiętajcie o notatkach do odcinka. Zatrzymuj podcast, przejrzyj notatki, w razie potrzeby powtórz nagranie. Zapisz się do newslettera za pośrednictwem strony angielskiskonradem.pl, by otrzymać natychmiastowy dostęp do notatek z tego i wszystkich poprzednich odcinków. Dostaniesz również powiadomienia o nowych odcinkach. Jeżeli masz pytania, uwagi bądź sugestie, skontaktuj się ze mną za pośrednictwem adresu angielskiskonradem@gmail.com bądź za pośrednictwem fanpage'a Angielski z Konradem na Facebooku. Switching to English. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Angielski z Konradem. I'm your host Konrad and this is episode 37. Rodney Mullen on getting up again. We're going to do another TED Talk today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Let's begin with some vocabulary. Master. Master. Dojść do mistrzostwa, mistrz. Muster. Muster. Zebrać na przykład odwagę. Lose. Lose. Stracić. Loose. Loose. Luźny. Stationary. Stationary. Stacjonarny. Stationary. Stationary. Papeteria. Today's episode is very exciting because I'm finally going to talk at length about my pastime. I skateboard for over 10 years now. I started at the young age of 21 and I'm still skating to this day at the young age of 31. What do I like about it? Well, everything really. To be more specific, I find it to be an outlet for many things. Negative emotions, excess energy, creativity. It's also my regular fix of physical exercise. I don't enjoy working out or jogging that much. Most of all, it makes me happy. The basics are not that hard to grasp. Anyone can learn it regardless of age. For instance, Mr. Kinoshita has been doing rounds on Instagram lately. He started skateboarding about 2 years ago. The catch here is that, as of this recording, Mr. Kinoshita is 81. So, skateboarding is for everyone, and not for everyone. You hurt yourself on a skateboard, and you hurt yourself a lot. It is smart to wear some protective gear just for the peace of mind. However, no amount of knee pads or elbow pads won't save you from falling down flat on your butt. So you need to be ready to fall down. When you fall down, you naturally get hurt. The key here is to use the pain as the driving force, to try harder. That's what skateboarders do. They try again and again and again, regardless of pain. Today's TED Talk speaker is Rodney Mullen, the title of the TED Talk, On Getting Up Again. I'll provide you with the link in your notes. I hope you enjoy it. When you look at Rodney Mullen, the first thing you probably think is, man, what a stoner. He's a type of a person who feels the most comfortable when he's allowed to keep to himself, apart from a rare occasion when he gives a TED Talk. He likes to skate at night by himself, unless he shoots a video which doesn't happen that often nowadays. He's 54 now. That's why he never got as much recognition as other skateboarders, such as Tony Hawk. His persona isn't as marketable. Let me explain one thing about skateboarding. It comes in many different flavors, different styles, varieties, so to speak. Two main skateboarding styles are street skateboarding, where you use urban architecture such as stairs or handrails as obstacles as you ride, and vert skateboarding, skating in ramps and bowls. Those are two very different styles and require different techniques. Rodney begins his TED Talk by showing us footage of another skater, Danny Way. He is a vert skater, Rodney is a street skater. Danny is trying to get up on his feet after taking a several meters long fall off a skateboard ramp. The thing is, he got up only to try to land the trick again, in which he succeeded. What we do in skateboarding is fall, over and over and over, but we get back up. Our bodies tell us to stop. Confidence becomes smaller with every hit, every fall. Skateboarders keep telling themselves a certain mantra, one more try. The thing is that one more try is never singular. After the attempt that was supposed to be the final one comes another, then another one, and so on, until they land the trick. Rodney describes skateboarding as breaking through the barrier of disbelief. A lot of people have really great ideas, but they don't execute them. Those ideas never come to fruition because of this barrier behind which we all hid at some point in our lives. Rodney went through a really rough patch. His discipline of skateboarding, freestyle, was declining in popularity. The sponsors soon followed suit. It wasn't as spectacular, it wasn't as entertaining to watch as street skateboarding or vert. Freestyle skateboarders did their tricks mostly in one place by moving very slowly, or stationary even. In vert, on the other hand, contestants were flying several stories high. Moreover, he developed a bad case of arthrofibrosis. I had to look it up. It means that some scar tissue developed in his joints. That's very bad. It means that he could move his leg only in one direction, like a gear shifter, forwards, backwards. That's all he could do. Attempting to move it in any other direction would result in excruciating pain. His doctor told him that his skateboarding days are over. Luckily, it's something you can get rid of, little by little, though it involves a lot of pain. Rodney didn't want to wait for medical procedures, so he drove his car at night to the most desolate places he could find, got out, grabbed the door, and hit his hip with it as hard as he could. It involved a lot of shouting, tears, and snot, as he describes, but he was able to remove all of the scar tissue. That's a very unorthodox method, but in his case, also efficient as it turns out. Of course, it's not something I would recommend to anybody. Please don't use car doors or any part of your car as a surgical tool. Thank you. What followed was the golden age of street skateboarding, and Rodney was the pioneer. With his scar tissue gone, he was doing better than ever. He was performing tricks that even applied physics graduates couldn't wrap their head around. After telling his story, Rodney shares some accounts of other pro skateboarders who went through similar hardships. Danny Way, Tony Hawk, Day One Song. They were all told that they will no longer be able to skate due to their injuries. John Cardell, that's the most remarkable story in my opinion, was paralyzed from the waist down. The past tense here indicates that he is fine now. Their drive, their motivation is something to admire and emulate. The things you see while watching a skate video, those tricks that are lightning fast, those sequences which last a few seconds, this is hard physical work. It takes hours to record one sequence, sometimes days, and a lot of painful bails. Hardships are, to put it another way, pain. Skateboarders know pain better than anyone else, and they refuse to give up no matter the pain. You can imagine how such a mentality can be applied to everyday life. When something goes wrong, when you fail, you try again until you succeed, no matter the pain. Thank you for listening. It's time for the revision of vocabulary for this episode with some example sentences. You will find those sentences in your podcast notes. Be sure to check them out. Let's begin. Master, master. Dojść do mistrzostwa, mistrz. Chess is one of those games which are easy to get into but hard to master. Chess is one of those games which are easy to get into but hard to master. Muster, muster. Zebrać, na przykład odwagę. Matt finally mustered the courage to ask Lily for a date. Matt finally mustered the courage to ask Lily for a date. Lose, lose. Stracić. Only after you lose everything are you capable of doing anything. Only after you lose everything are you capable of doing anything. Loose, loose. Luźne. Walt didn't notice loose nuts on his bicycle, so it fell apart after a few meters of cycling. Walt didn't notice loose nuts on his bicycle, so it fell apart after a few meters of cycling. Stationary, stationary. Stacjonarne. In a game of skate, tricks done while being stationary don't count. In a game of skate, tricks done while being stationary don't count. Stationary, stationary. Papeteria. It's hard to imagine anyone using stationery these days. People mostly write emails. It's hard to imagine anyone using stationery these days. People mostly write emails. It's hard to imagine anyone using stationery these days. People mostly write emails. And that's the conclusion of today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you next time.